Buffalo is a nice, quiet town until we showed up. This is the hockey show.
ما في وقت للعب 9-1 كونتينيو يجي نار من استوديو نقني ولا لازم تشوف
Rosie and Ethan are back home, and David Jork and I are in Buffalo. This is the hockey show. We are here in Western New York for the NHL Draft.
Very Western. It didn't dark till after 9 yesterday.
Yeah, we're next to Lake Erie over here. It is not on fire, but we planned this trip thinking that the Florida Panthers were going to do something with that 9th overall pick. They did.
Before we got here.
Yeah, they did it twice actually, because they kind of took that with the Mackie Samoskevich trade and the 23rd overall pick that they got from that trade, flipped it, and got themselves a guy by the name of Brady Tkachuk.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah, you probably did. So the Panthers have no first-round picks. So we're basically just there to watch other people get drafted.
Well, the Panthers have some second-round picks. They have a lot of players that other teams would want, and the Panthers remain very active in trade talks. So I don't think we're necessarily done seeing the Panthers in action this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because they got Garnet and Hathaway yesterday. They got themselves an A.J. Greer replacement. They got a good penalty killer, and they're paying half of his salary. Not his whole salary, but half of his salary. Got a good shutdown fourth liner right there, so that's very good. So here we are in Buffalo thinking, what are the Panthers going to do with their goaltending situation? Because there was a report out there that he wanted $14 million a year, which is
insane.
I
want $14 million a year.
I wish I could have.
That would be nice.
All this right now,
right?
That'd be cool.
You get somebody to pay half my salary. I'll take $7 million a year. But I mean,
yeah. How about the Panthers pay me $7 million, and then somebody like the Winnipeg Jets or something pay me $7 million? Oh, why did I say that team? I don't know.
Yeah, why did you say that team? Well, we don't know. The Panthers have no goaltenders, by the way. The Notario Saab is also a free agent, so they got something that they have to do, at least for the next couple of weeks. Try to find a goaltender. What do you know, Dave?
I know that they've been in the mix for a lot of the in the goaltending realm. I know that they're looking at, as Ethan alluded to, the Panthers have been in the mix with Connor Hellebuyck, and they've continued to engage in those discussions. Personally, I think Winnipeg is going to get better offers than what Florida has been able to put together. However, with Hellebuyck having the no movement clause in his deal, that there could be an element that he has some control over the situation. As of now, from everything I've been told, he has not demanded a trade or said, I will only go A, B, or C, which is what some other players have done. But again, this whole thing could play out as I would think that if they're going to make a big deal, it's going to happen in the next few hours, just because the draft is coming up, and that's where a lot of those high-end assets would be. So we'll see if the Panthers remain in on that. But they've also looked at some veteran guys that would be cheaper signees. I know Stuart Skinner's a name that we've thrown around a bit. And then there's Sergei Bobrovsky, who they've continued to have open negotiations with throughout all of this. As I've continued to try gathering intel on Bob, what I have learned is that it's not very surprising to those who are familiar with him and know him well that he's going for the big dollar paycheck. That's very much his MO, is he wants to get paid. And it seems as though that kind of mindset has continued even after the $70 million contract he was just on expired. So is he going to come down and want to stay in Florida? Is that going to drag out, and is he going to take it to July 1? Because if he's trying to demand high dollar, I would think that he's going to have to do it on July 1 to see what kind of offers are out there. So this goaltending situation with the Panthers and their lack of goaltenders, it could continue to play out as we go past the draft, but they have so many balls in the air right now that it could kind of break at any time.
He's had the career that is warranted that amount of money, but he's had a year that's definitely not warranted that amount of money. He just went through the worst season of his career. Also, Jordan Bennington's name was in talks of a trade, and that sound you just heard was basically me, but
he's the puck stealer.
That's not going to happen.
He is the puck stealer. That's true, Rose.
Yeah, no. From what I've gathered, the Panthers are not going to be in on Jordan Bennington. It's just an avenue that they're really not interested in going down at this point, from what I've been told.
All right, so no Jordan Bennington in that situation. Ethan, what are you seeing right now? And by the way, this is pretty much the pseudo second trade deadline, if you really think about this. This draft is really bringing in the deals. But what do you see is happening right now in Florida, Ethan?
First of all, could not be happier with the Brady Tkachuk trade. I mean, I'll be honest, coming into the offseason, if the Panthers were going to use 9 for something, I was hoping that it was going to be for Connor Hellebuyck. I think he's the ideal trade target for the Panthers, but it seems like they're going to try and make that work at either way, even without the 9th pick. Whether they'll be able to, I have no idea. But it seems like they're going to try and do that. I have no reason to doubt Bill Zito. What am I seeing right now? A lot of wait and see, right? Like this Connor Hellebuyck situation is obviously the one that they're going after. I think it was David Pagnotta, a friend of the show, who reported yesterday that the Panthers have circled back on Connor Hellebuyck a little bit. Then there was the report that came out about Carolina's offer. The fact that there are details of an offer out there suggests to me that the offer was turned down, right? Now, that could be for a multitude of reasons. I don't believe it's because Winnipeg would say no, because to be realistic, they're not getting a better trade offer unless Buffalo is giving them the 4th overall pick, which now we're hearing reports that they want 4-4-8, which is the pick that Winnipeg possesses. Unless that's happening, I just don't see them getting a better offer than Nichushkin and a first-round pick, whatever else Carolina was offering. So to me, that says, hey, Hellebuyck might really be holding out for Florida here, trying to use the leverage that he has with that no trade clause to try and get down to play with Brady Tkachuk and Matthew Tkachuk, who we obviously heard on their podcast, their interview with him. He seems to be a huge fan of. So it's really wait and see mode. Beyond Hellebuyck, I don't really love their options in goal at all. You mentioned Stuart Skinner. Not crazy about that, though I do think that the team in front of him is good enough to kind of carry him. But we also saw what happened with Edmonton and Stuart Skinner, right? I think the big thing is Dave mentioned that it's not a surprise to people who know Bob that this is the way he's handling the situation. That was shocking to me because everything I know about Sergei Bobrovsky, everything I've heard about Sergei Bobrovsky is he's the ultimate team guy. He's a humble guy. He's quiet. He goes about his business. He loves winning. He doesn't seem like a guy that would care that much about money. He seems like the guy that would care about winning, which is why this whole situation has been so surprising to me. But here we are. Look, it's still hard for me to see a situation where Sergei Bobrovsky is not between the pipes for the Panthers next season, but it seems like we're getting ever closer to that each passing day.
Well, you got to watch out for the quiet ones. I mean, there was a certain wide receiver who played for the Indianapolis Colts who was quiet.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that, that guy's the man. And then you heard a couple of things.
That we don't mention
a car wash and a gun. So, that sort of thing. I'm not going to say his name, though.
No.
So over the past week, it's been crazy. There have been a lot of deals, such as Bowen Byram and Jordan Greenway going to Chicago and going from Buffalo to Chicago. Jordan Kyrou going to the Capitals. Connor McMichael is going to the Blues. William Eklund going to the Senators from the Sharks. They got picks for that one. And then yesterday was Thursday, but on Wednesday, Alex Tuch going to the Capitals from the Sabres. And it's just been a crazy week for trades. What trade stuck out to you, Dave?
I mean, all of them. Obviously, the Bowen Byram going from Buffalo to Chicago was big. Buffalo, they've got a decent stable of defensemen, so the move certainly made sense. And Byram will get a good shot in Chicago. He'll get a good look and running their power play. So that one I liked. Obviously, the Capitals are loading up. They got Jordan Kyrou. They got Alex Tuch. They've already got Ovi. They've got a solid goaltending stable with Logan Thompson and the second goaltender whose name I am forgetting, Charlie Lynn. Thank you very much for our guest throwing a little. We'll get to our guest later, but thank you.
Fatu Ba of Black Girl Hockey Club is going to join us in a little bit. She just she covers unofficially covers the Washington Capitals through her job. So
thank you for that. Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren are a solid goaltending tandem. But also like the Simon Nemec trade to Calgary.
Oh yes,
I like that a lot just because Ryan Huska is a coach who is known to maximize what his players can do. He's a great players coach. And so him getting his hands on Nemec, former top pick from not long ago from New Jersey, I'm very intrigued to see how that one plays out.
Well, Maxim Siplikov in that trade too.
Yes.
Sonny Mehta.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Sonny Meta, as maybe learned from here in Florida, stockpiling picks, assets to be used at a later date. A smart move by him.
Yeah. Ethan, what trade has stuck out to you?
Yeah, I want to harp on the Bowen Byram to Chicago one a little bit, because when I see the Blackhawks going for it a little bit by acquiring like a big name defenseman like that, I get a little excited. But then I see that they traded the 4th overall pick, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know that you're a team that should be doing that right now, because there are some options at 4 that they could pair with Bedard that I think I would really like for them, especially a couple of the defensemen. There's some wingers that they could get for him. I'm not sure that Bowen Byram was the right guy for them. Jordan Kyrou is a player that I really like, that has seemed like he needed to get out of St. Louis for a while. Really intrigued to see what kind of run he gets with the Capitals. But the one that's really intriguing to me, and I really like what they did this offseason, I mean, as much as you can like a team that traded their captain and got no NHL players in return, is William Eklund going to the Senators. Again, a team that I don't really believe should be trading young good players in the San Jose Sharks. Trade a young, good player in William Eklund, but the Senators are the beneficiary here. And like I said, yes, they traded Brady Tkachuk. They did not get a single NHL player back. They got all picks. I don't love that. But using that pick to get a player like Eklund is something that I really like, and then 2 prospects as well. And then they just re-up Jordan Spence at a number that I thought is really good today. So I like what the Sens are doing, despite the fact that, hey, we had to trade our captain. They went after Jason Robertson. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen, but they're being aggressive, and they're saying that they're signaling to everybody that just because we traded Brady Tkachuk does not mean that we're rebuilding. We're trying to kind of retool here on the fly and make something happen. We still have hopes to make the playoffs next year. So I like what the Sens have done this offseason. And then Valeri Nichushkin's always an interesting name when he's on the move. Just seeing Colorado kind of change some pieces around. They had some depth pieces move, and a guy that's been a big part of their core for a while there on the move now. It's going to be really interesting to see what Colorado does after the way that they went out to Vegas. Rosie, are you choking? You okay?
Yeah, she seems to be chewing on something very true.
I was doing this, but I have cavities and I did it in the wrong side of my, so it hurt. So sorry.
Yeah, so now we got
checking on you. I was making sure you were okay.
Yeah.
Now you talking now.
You can keep going with heel bottom.
That's great. So Rose is currently eating while on the job, and has been. What is that? I can't even see what that is. What is that?
Oh, it's nerds.
The nerds, the gummy clusters.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, just snacking down on candy while trying to produce this thing. So the Oilers have hired Mike Babcock. Yeah, not good. I say not good because I think that hire is stupid. I think he should not have a job. But he met with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman, and they grilled him. He grilled them, and they've come to a decision that maybe he will, light a fire under their asses and maybe actually get out of the first round this upcoming season. So it is whatever. It did seem to me like he learned a thing just based on his introductory press conference he had with Stan Bowman. And by the way, that's just a hilarious sentence right there. Stan Bowman and Mike Babcock, working together. Yeah, that's really interesting. So as I said, I don't think I believe that he learned a thing. And I think this is a terrible hire. What say you, Dave?
It's hard not to look that way based off of the track record, based off of everything that happened, both in Toronto and in Columbus, and just the reputation that precedes him. But I feel like almost, what's the phrase? Like Stockholm syndrome or whatever. Like these people have been stuck there forever, and they're so desperate to win. They got so close 2 years in a row that they have to feel that they're like one little tweak or one little thing away. They got to a game 7 against Florida and lost the 1-goal game. They were leading. They took game 1 against the Panthers in 25. So they have to feel like they're close, but I don't know if this is it. I don't know if this is just grasping for straws and trying to grab maybe the biggest chance out there, but it's just a hell of a risk. And you could see how it could go very bad. And Edmonton, they've got to be thinking about what McDavid, 2 years left. Draisaitl said on the exit interviews, what are they doing? Yeah. So I don't know, man. This was it's at the same time, it's a major head scratcher, but you still kind of get it. It's weird like that. Cause what else were they going to do at this point? But this
There's got to be something better that they could have come up with. Like, that's just when I hear Mike Babcock and then you see, the NHL is going through an investigation, the NHLPA is not happy about it. You're just thinking to yourself, like, isn't there a better way? Like, is this really the only guy out there for them? Like, John Tortorella.
It was Bruce Cassidy, except Vegas decided to say no.
Yeah, very true. Vegas did their Vegas thing and prevented them from hiring Bruce Cassidy. And yeah, maybe it works out, but it is such a mess. And like Roy mentioned, it's not just Mike Babcock. It's Stan Bowman hiring Mike Babcock, right? It's two guys that had been exiled from the league for totally valid reasons, coming back together and one deciding to hire the other. And it's just, like I said, like, is this really the only choice that you had if you're Edmonton? Is this really the thing? Like, was Connor McDavid so adamant that this is our guy? This is the guy that'll get us over the top. Dave, like you mentioned, they've been so close, right? Not only did they have a lead in that series, it was 2-2 in a best of 3 with 2 games at home in 2025, right? 2-2 going back to Edmonton for game 5. The Panthers crushed them in game 5, win game 6. Obviously, that series wasn't really that close. But still, they've been so close twice now. This year, they fall apart in the first round, and everybody kind of saw it coming. We knew Knoblauch had to go. But it's just unbelievable to me that this is the direction that they thought was the right direction for them to head in, because there has to be a retread out there that's better than retreading Mike Babcock. I know nobody retreads coaches like the NHL, but my God, like, of all the guys out there, and I just wanted to defer to our friend DJ Bean on this one, and Pete Blackburn as well. Like, DJ said, this is a guy that hasn't had success in a long, long time. Like, he had success in the NHL, but he hasn't been a good NHL coach in like a decade. Plus all the shit that's come with it. And then, Roy, you mentioned his press conference. I think one of the things that stood out to me was, I think it was Pete who tweeted, like, wow, Mike Babcock really likes to talk about Mike Babcock. Like, that suggests to me that he hasn't changed. He's the same fucking guy that he was, that got rightfully run out of the NHL. And it's shocking. It's just another example of the NHL giving people too many chances. And I know, Roy, you have another thing you want to talk about later of that. This
motherfucker, man. This guy
doesn't need a second chance. And he got one. And, maybe it works out for the Oilers, or maybe it blows up in their face in epic proportions and they lose Connor McDavid in 2 years.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Like, you either a tweak away from winning the cup, or you're a tweak away from blowing it up all in your face. And I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that it blows up in the face. That's just the way it is. And that this motherfucker situation, that is also for this thing that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But let's get back to the draft here. And going off of the Athletics mock draft, obviously Gavin McKenna, I shouldn't say obviously, but Gavin McKenna is slated to be picked first overall by the Maple Leafs. The Sharks will pick Ivar Stenberg at number 2. This is off the mock draft from the Athletic. The Canucks will select Caleb Malhotra at 3. The Sabres will most likely go with Chase Reid at 4. And the Rangers, maybe, just maybe, going with Albert Šmits at number 5. Dave, do you agree with the top 5 there?
Yes and no. Like, McKenna seems like he's going to be the number 1. He's at the highest upside, superstar potential. Ivar Stenberg, legit scoring winger, maybe the most NHL ready of all the draft prospects. So those two going 1 and 2 makes a lot of sense. When you get into the defensemen, I think it's going to depend on a lot of the team's personal preference, whether it's Malhotra, or excuse me, not Malhotra, whether it's Reid, whether it's Carson Carrolls, whether it's Keaton Verhoff. Those are all defensemen that you kind of almost interchangeable. I think Malhotra going to Vancouver makes a lot of sense. His dad just got hired as the head coach there. So obviously the familial element is there. And yeah, I'm very intrigued, especially with the defensemen, to see kind of how they play out, how the order plays. And if there's a chance that Stenberg leapfrogs McKenna for 1, maybe, I don't know, as my headphone pops out. But either way, like, I feel like there's enough intrigue that I'm definitely going to be paying attention and excited to see how it plays out later tonight.
What are you looking at the young guys there, Ethan?
Yeah, I from all reports, McKenna's going number 1. I think the big thing that stood out to me is how far down the pecking order Keaton Verhoff has fallen. Like, there were guys that were saying, this time last year, that Verhoff and McKenna like is kind of neck and neck, right? And then even early in the season, I don't know what happened in North Dakota this year for people to think that Verhoff has fallen so far down the pecking order. I've seen reports or tweets out there that say like he could go as low as 9 or 10. Like he's a guy that the Panthers maybe could have gotten at 9 or something like that, which I know we got Brady Tkachuk, so I'm not going to complain, but that would have been really fun to have Keaton Verhoff at 9. He would have been a perfect guy to fill in and, at the 3D pairing or something like that. But no, I just, he was a guy that was very highly touted, and it feels kind of like James Hagens, who was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick last year and then fell all the way to 7 in the Boston Bruins. So really looking forward to seeing where he's going, because I think if he does fall down that pecking order, I think somebody's really getting a steal.
The Seattle Kraken. What is going on over there? During the trade deadline, during the previous season, Artemi Panarin, they offered him $15 million per year in a long contract. He went to be with the Kings. And they tried to go after Jason Robertson this past week with a $14 million per year contract. He said no. Nobody wants to go to Seattle.
I don't understand why either.
Yeah, I don't understand. Seattle's a great city, apparently, from all I've heard.
They've got one of the best practice facilities in the league. The ownership that's willing to spend money. Like, it seems like it's a recipe for success there. They just they haven't put it together yet because they're still a new team. Eventually, they're going to get going, and you would think once they get going, they're going to be able to sustain it. But it's them getting going is not happening. Like, nobody seems to want to go there yet. I don't quite get why, other than maybe because they're not established yet.
Meanwhile, Jason Robertson turned down an offer from the Blues. The Blues offered multiple first-round picks to Dallas. What do you see going on there with Jason Robertson?
I think a lot of teams are trying to kick the tires and see if they can get this dynamic forward to their squad. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up staying in Dallas. I think he wants to stay there. I think they're testing out his value and seeing like what's out there. But if Dallas can find a way to make it work financially, they've built a hell of a squad up there. So if they can keep him there, I think that's what he would like to do ideally.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ethan. Yeah.
I see a guy that very clearly wants to stay where he is because he's had some huge contract offers reportedly up of 15, 16, 17 million dollars reported from teams that he could be the centerpiece of. And he's saying no to them. It's clear he's trying to stay in Dallas. I don't know why, though, considering that they keep trying to trade him. They keep having deals in place to trade him, and they don't want to pay him what he's worth. So if I'm Jason Robertson, I'm saying, okay, you don't want to pay me what I'm worth? I'm going to go elsewhere. I'm going to kick your ass, and I'm going to be a 40-goal scorer and a 90-point guy like I always am because I'm Jason Robertson, and I'm a really good player, and I'm going to make a ton of money and be the centerpiece of a team. I don't know why he is. Sorry, I was looking to see if the trade that just came through was anything big. The Sens got Andre Burakovsky, whatever. But yeah, I just
whatever. He just said whatever.
I don't understand why Robertson is just seemingly unwilling to go take a big deal to go be the centerpiece of a team. If I were him, I would do it. I would go to Ottawa. I would go to Seattle. Seems nice. St. Louis, like go try something new because, buddy, they're not valuing you the way that you deserve to be valued right now.
All right. I gotta get to this. We don't have a wins and fails this week, but the major fail that happened came off of the island, and my beef with the New York Islanders will continue because Tony DeAngelo signed a 2-year contract worth $4.5 million a year.
$9 million.
He's an offensive defenseman. We know that. An emphasis on offense.
Find him very offensive.
Well, yeah. Emphasis on offensive because defensively he's terrible. When he was on the ice this season, the Islanders are 5-on-5, well, -2. That's not good. That is not good. If you're a defenseman and on even strength 5-on-5, your team is a -2. Most likely, you're one of the reasons why those 2 goals went against your team. And we've seen highlights where he's gotten burnt, completely burnt. Bad turnovers, players going around him, getting to the net. He's just a terrible defenseman defensively. So, but hey, They gave him a job a couple years ago, pulled him off the scrap heap from the KHL, and now he's going to continue his career in the National Hockey League, much to my chagrin. You got any thoughts on this travesty of a signing?
I mean, I guess from your perspective, if he's going to stay in the NHL, keep him in the East.
Beat the shit out of him.
Keep him close to the Panthers.
Just beat the shit out of him. Hopefully the Capitals will beat the shit out of him in the Metro as well, as I say that for Fatu.
Yeah, I think it just shows the kind of deals that people are going to be getting with this new cap, because $4.5 million for a third pair defenseman, I guess maybe he's a second pair guy on the Islanders, is a crazy price. So we're going to see some big contracts being handed out this all season to guys that at prices that they normally wouldn't get before. There's going to be new valuations for every spot on the roster, and Tony DeAngelo getting 2 by 4.5 is certainly an example of that.
Just ridiculous. I'm angry again. The man has a job. All right, whatever. Tony DeAngelo has a job. Stan Bowman has a job, and Mike Babcock has a job. That's where we are. Joel Quenneville also has a job. Yeah, he got pulled off the scrap heap as well. Carter Hart is a conference champion. So that's where we are. Part 2 of Black Girl Hockey Club is coming up next. So stay tuned, everybody. This is the Hockey Show. Here we go. Oh, we're at the little box now because Rose has something to say. Rosie, you haven't had any screen time really today, except when you almost choked. What exactly are you doing right now?
I am watching a novela, Guardián de mi vida, but it's it's the moment that the novela is getting into the best part. It's so intense, and you're gonna see the twin sister coming in.
What? I have a bone to pick with you while we're talking novellas.
We're picking bones now.
Well, thanks to Rose, my wife is now obsessed with Off Campus. I come downstairs and she's watching random episodes. She's telling me to bleep off because she's like, "Oh, you judging me?" So thank you for that, Rose.
Well, what can I say? It's a great, beautiful, and amazing show.
Like, I'm in my office working the other day, and I hear, out of the corner of my ear, I hear that freaking song where she's dancing with herself, and I'm like, no, she's not. So I'm going down the stairs, and I'm getting dirty looks, and I'm getting middle fingers, and so thank you for that, Rose.
You're very welcome. Anytime.
What is this novella about that you're watching right now?
It's a remake. So it's the mom and the daughter, and both of them fall in love with their bodyguards.
Oh, what? Really?
Hey, that's Mexican novelas. What can I do? That's what we like, Latinos.
All right, there you go. Once again, thank you to Fatu Ba of Black Girl Hockey Club for joining us. That is a great organization. We would like you guys to support that. And remember to subscribe to the Hockey Show YouTube page at the Hockey Show DLS, on TikTok at the Hockey Show 7, and on X, Instagram, and Threads at Hockey Show DLS. Rosie, what are you laughing at?
Oh, I put the like and subscribe.
I'm being covered by the like and subscribe. Look, thanks, Rosie. Yeah, flip that. Thank you. That's great producing by you. We are going to be at KeyBank Center, actually, that's what I should say. KeyBank Center for the NHL Draft tonight. I'm sure there are going to be more moves and more re-signings before Gavin McKenna puts on that Toronto Maple Leafs sweater. So we'll see about that. For Rose, for Ethan, and for Dave, I'm Roy Bellamy. We are going to enjoy Buffalo, and we will talk to you soon.
Woo! Great job, guys.